How long can NATO stand by and watch Russia target civilians without finding a way to help more when it comes to the Ukrainian resistance?
U.S. journalists continue to push for increased military support of Ukraine's defense against the Russian invasion, from continually asking about a no-fly zone to pushing for United States weapons transfers, to now Chuck Todd directly asking NATO Secretary General what more NATO countries will do to support Ukraine.
NATO allies are stepping up their support to Ukraine, partly by delivering military support, humanitarian support, and billions of financial support to Ukraine.
If NATO nations are already ramping up support of humanitarian aid and weapons transfers, what more can the United States and NATO nations do? By asking for a no-fly zone, you are asking the United States to directly fight Russia and get involved in this war. And the narrative has been defined by war drums beating, but maybe this narrative is shifting. MSNBC ran some programming criticizing journalists' lack of support for the peace talks and diplomacy.
What's often missing from a lot of these press briefings are questions from reporters about diplomacy, about peace.
This situation highlights the contradiction that has defined American foreign policy since the dawn of the nation. It's an ages-old debate, but maybe it's not a debate at all. We want to be a model society for the world to look to, but we also want to impose our will and spread our values around the world by force. We spread the message that American intervention is necessary and righteous, but we also believe in sovereignty and self-determination. We support a rules-based international order, but consider ourselves exempt from the rules. It seems Americans are imperialists just as much as we are isolationists. Stephen Kinzer put it best when he said, "Forced to choose between these two irreconcilable alternatives, Americans chose both." He said at different times, according to circumstances, these contrary impulses emerge in different proportions. Our inability to choose between them shapes our conflicted approach in the world. So before we eagerly push into a war an ocean away, let's reflect on how this approach has shaped America's presence in the international community. The U.S. condemns Russia's invasion of the Ukraine, and the U.S. invaded Iraq in 2003. Our foreign policy leaders and journalists are outraged about war crimes committed by Russia, but when other countries bring complaints against the United States in the International Criminal Court, we've refused to comply. Right now there's not a lot of media coverage of this, but the United States is backing Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates in the war in Yemen. Journalists are compassionately covering the siege of cities in Ukraine and blockades preventing humanitarian aid from reaching Ukrainian people, while the Saudi-led coalition in Yemen has blocked land, sea, and air borders, causing widespread famine for 6 years. The UN has called this the largest humanitarian catastrophe. We choose what wars we care about, and what gets media coverage tends to sway the public into caring about some unjust wars more than others. It's time we learn from history and play by the rules if we ever want to have a rules-based international order. We should be pushing for and supporting diplomacy and a peaceful resolution in Ukraine. And we can support the Ukrainian people with humanitarian aid and support their defense against the Russian invasion without getting directly militarily involved. The chances of China getting directly militarily involved if we do is extremely high, and Russia has nuclear capacity. World War III would be imminent if we got involved. This all comes down to one key question. Would it make matters better or worse for the Ukrainian people and the world beyond if the US gets militarily involved?